Hello, I'm Tom Bushell, the Sports Explorer, and I'm on a journey across America to tell the story of the country through sport and adventure. In this week's episode, I have travelled to Georgia, and today I'm going to show you how to hike the stunning Appalachian Approach Trail, whether you are setting off on the world's longest hike, planning a weekend adventure, or just tackling a day hike. Along the way, we'll pass through the iconic Appalachian Trail arch, take in epic waterfalls, stay the night at a hiking institution, and be on bear watch. It's all coming up in this video. Don't forget to subscribe for the best ways to enjoy sporting events and guides to amazing adventures as well. Turn on your notifications, like and comment below too. For thousands every year, this is the start point of the adventure of a lifetime. The famous arch that represents the beginning of the approach trail to the Appalachian Trail, the longest hiking route in the world. This is like the holy grail for hikers, isn't it? Passing underneath this arch, about to embark on an adventure that will last for 2,000 miles on foot. Shall we walk under the arch? There we go. We've done it. Right, back to the car. I'm joking, of course. Let's get going. So there are many ways actually that you can get to the official start point of the Appalachian Trail here in its Southern Terminus. They all start from the Amicalola State Park at the visitor centre, which is where the arch is, and from there you can decide which route you want to take, which eventually gets you onto the approach trail, and then eventually 8.5 miles away, Springer Mountain and the start of the Appalachian Trail. The route I'm taking is a left right after you come through the arch. It's a blue path and it leads you up to the West Ridge staircase, and that then leads you up to the Great Amicalola Falls. You'll know you're on the right track because not long after you pass the lower amphitheatre on your right, you'll walk along a wooden walkway and then cross over the road following the signs. Just a few steps to climb here, a little bit of a warm-up because I think there's going to be a few more to get to the higher section of this waterfall to come. This is the reflection pool, they call it. It's about halfway up to the falls, which are all the way up there. So we've reached the lower observation deck, and here not only do you get amazing views looking up to the falls, but this also marks the start of the staircase. 80, 81, 82, 83, 84, 85. What was it? 175. Halfway then. The good thing about climbing these stairs is the higher you get, this waterfall gets even more impressive. Look at this. Can't believe it, look. I thought it was 175 steps to the top. They're now saying, after you've done 175, it's another 425, meaning 600 in total. Let's keep climbing. Once you get to the top, the views of the Amicalola Falls is worth every step. The Amicalola Falls is the focal point of this state park. The waterfall is the third highest cascading waterfall east of the Mississippi River in America. It's 729 feet tall and quite magnificent. So when you reach the top of the falls, you have some options. If you are day hiking, you can head back down the same way you came up via the staircase, or you can take the East Ridge Trail back to the visitor centre. If you are weekend hiking and staying at the Hike Inn, you need to follow my footsteps for the rest of this video. And if you are embarking on the Appalachian Trail for real, you can take the route I'm taking, stay at the Hike Inn, and then rejoin the approach trail in the morning, where you will only have 3 miles to go until the official Southern Terminus at Springer Mountain. And here it is. This is the start of the trail to the Hike Inn where we're staying tonight. It's also the approach trail continuation as well. The two go side by side for the first little stretch. Into the woods we go. Just after you start the path from the car park, you need to take your first left. So if you're starting your Appalachian Trail from the Southern Terminus, this is it. You're walking 2,000 miles to go. So this is where the path splits. The approach trail is straight on and the Hike Inn trail is up this way. And that's the way we're going. And we'll rejoin the approach trail in the morning. 4.8 miles to the Hike Inn. You need to follow the green markings. So the path is pretty straightforward actually. It's not particularly technical. There's an elevation of about 500 to 600 feet along the way from the top of the falls to where the Hike Inn is. I should point out, I'm a little nervous. This is bear country, and as a solo hiker, I don't particularly want to meet any black bears today, but I'm told they roam these woods. I have been told, however, a few little tips to keep the bears away. One of those tips is just making lots of noise. And so if you are on your own, a lot of talking to yourself, or indeed singing if you wish. Back in the summer of '69, come on baby, light my fire. I think it might be my bad singing that'll keep them away more than anything. If you don't have my bad singing at hand though, some of the things you can do if you do come across a bear in this part of Georgia is just make yourself big and tell them to go away. The black bears are skittish around here. They'll be more scared of you. This is the 1 mile mark, and along this trail there are some amazing spots to sit down and just take it all in. The Appalachian Trail was built in the 1930s. It took a decade to construct, and most of the trail from Georgia to Maine is in landscapes like this, in woods and forests. But there are moments where it opens up and even passes through towns and goes along roads. The trail passes through an incredible 14 states. Can you name all of them? Give it a go in the comments below. If you have watched the film A Walk in the Woods, where Robert Redford plays Bill Bryson, the travel writer who of course wrote a book about walking the Appalachian Trail, you'll recognise the arch at the start of the approach trail and the Amicalola Lodge of course, which a lot of people stay at for the weekend, and they have loads of activities there as well. Like with any hike, make sure you come prepared for this. Plenty of water, it's humid in these woods. And also ticks are common in the area as well, so make sure you bring some insect and tick repellent. And whilst hiking along these trails, it is important to remember to stay on the official paths. So on this Hike-In trail, we are being led to the Len Fort Hike Inn. It's a hiker's institution really, an eco-friendly lodge in the middle of these woods. And when I get there, I'll show you around the stunning accommodation and tell you how you can stay there for half price. We're back on a sort of gradual but fairly steep incline. Have to say, the humidity within these woods is starting to sap my energy a little bit. I don't care if there's any bears around. I need to sit down. Much of this trail, consistent with the North Georgia landscape, is in thick forest, but there are a couple of moments where it opens up and there are some nice areas to sit down and take a breather as well. The path throughout is a rolling gradient, and so you'll enjoy moments of going downhill as well as moments going uphill. I passed the 4-mile mark back there, which means any moment now the hike-in will appear in front of me. There's one last incline before you get to your bed for the night. There's always one final incline, isn't there? Oh, come on. Just keeps going up. Here it is, the hike in, home for the night. Oh, and it looks glorious. What a welcome sight. This lodge is a completely remote oasis for hikers. It has plenty of bunk bed rooms, showers, games, seating areas, and is solar powered. And if you stay during the summer months, you'll get a room for half price at just $75. I've had a wonderful sleep in this lodge, the hike-in the middle of the forest. What an amazing place to stay. With breakfast and dinner provided and feeling refreshed, it's now time to get moving again and show you how to complete this adventure. So once you come out of the hike-in, you turn right and you're back onto the hike-in trail, and you'll follow that for about a mile, at which point it will join the approach trail. What a lot of people do is just stay in the hike-in for the night and use it as a sort of weekend hiking expedition, hike up, stay the night and then hike back down. But what you can do is stay at the hike-in for a couple of nights and explore this area. You could have a day hike to Springer Mountain. We've reached the T-junction. So this is where the hike-in trail meets the approach trail. Now you can either go right, following the blue markings northbound to Springer Mountain, which is the southern terminus of the Appalachian Trail, or you can turn left and head downhill, southbound on the approach trail, back to top of the falls, and then of course back down to the visitor centre where the adventure all began. I thought once you got onto the approach trail and headed south, it was all pretty much downhill back to the top of the falls, but that first stretch, pretty steep actually, coming uphill. We're now on a more consistent decline, and it's actually reasonably steep. I'm having to watch my footing a little bit as we go down, but what that does mean is if you are going up this way, starting your Appalachian Trail and heading up towards Springer Mountain, you've got some serious effort to put in with all of your kit on your back as well. I have to say, I have got so much respect for the through hikers that do the Appalachian Trail in full. Just experiencing the approach trail and the hike-in trail, two key trails that are used to get to the start point at Springer Mountain, and how strenuous they can be. And for an Appalachian Trail hiker, you haven't even got to the start point. We are minutes away from finishing this amazing adventure. 30 miles of hiking, a night stay at the hike-in. We've experienced the hike-in trail and the approach trail as well. For the hobby adventurers, coming here for the weekend, do it, put the effort in and do it. It's magnificent. Here's the junction that we took the right on yesterday to go up the hiking trail. Up that way we went, and then straight on there is the approach trail northbound. So we did the loop, hike in up there, 5 miles to the hike in, and then of course loop back round and then southbound on the approach trail. What a loop! The AT approach trails have to be explored for any keen adventurer, and if you'd like to follow in my footsteps, you can read a full written guide in the description below this video. You can also find other incredible hikes to explore, from reaching the United Arab Emirates' highest public point to the wonderful Breakneck Ridge Trail in New York. Thank you so much for watching. Please do subscribe if you'd like to know the best ways to enjoy sporting events around the world and guides to amazing adventures as well. In next week's video, I'm traveling to the Music City to discover how Nashville is welcoming a new sound to its streets in the form of IndyCar as the race series comes to the city for the first time. I'll see you next week.